The following review has been approved by Lord Carnage and the best of Classic Game Room. Welcome to Classic Game Room. This is the review of the Game Boy camera, which is being used to film this review. Well, sort of. I've got it running through the Super Game Boy, and the mic is... Oh, and I just dropped the controller. As professional as always. Enjoy the show. These days, you can't buy anything that doesn't have a camera. In the 1990s, that wasn't the case. Released in 1998, this is the remarkable Game Boy camera for your Nintendo Game Boy. There's lots of fun things that you can do with the Game Boy camera. Let's take a tour of the menus together. Let's see, we'll go back. Oop, no, cancel that. There we go. Okay, we'll go back here and there's that kid, and there's magic, I guess. What's the magic? Trick lenses. Ooh. Okay, that was nice. How about this one? Ooh, there's 4 of me. The clones are real. In the years before the selfie was a thing, the Game Boy camera made it happen, or you could turn the camera around and take pictures of other things, like that Pac-Man machine in the background. Let's take a picture of Pac-Man and then print it with the Game Boy printer. What fun. Love this thing. This is like the dynamic duo of awesome video game accessories, and Nintendo knew this because they marketed the Game Boy camera right on the Game Boy printer box, as you can see here. Apparently it came in a bunch of colors, and really, you can't live without this thing. The Game Boy camera is by itself very cool. It's a great accessory, but my favorite feature is that it works with the Game Boy printer, because that means you can take your Game Boy camera, and Game Boy printer to the bar with you. It's the ultimate conversation starter. Nobody cares if you have the brand new iPhone or Galaxy. If you have a Game Boy camera and printer, you're going to be the hero of the evening because you can take pictures and then print them. You're either going to get punched in the face or lucky. There's no in between. The Game Boy camera is a miracle. Your pictures are saved on the Game Boy camera, and you can print them out whenever you want or apply a wide variety of fun filters. Let's try this one. What's this do? Whoa! New Jersey. Hi. Oh. Ooh. Ah. Hey, Derek, you gotta see this. Come here. Come here. Look at that. Look at that.
The Game Boy camera.
The Game Boy camera, but take a close look at it. Look into the lens.
Okay.
Look, it's magic.
What kind of magic is this?
It's the most magic of magic.
Wow. I do feel pretty
magical. Look a little closer to the lens.
Okay. Wow!
Now, in addition to the Game Boy camera being a miracle of technology, it also has some of the best music I've ever heard in any video game thing ever. This is just remarkable. Here's some pictures I took at Replay Festival 2015, and there's the crowd at my talk, which I later printed out and handed to them. Can't do that with a cell phone. Here's a look at the camera itself, which isn't really all that exciting. It's like a webcam that rotates on top of a Game Boy cartridge. This one is model number MGB-006. And it works on every single Game Boy that I have, including the original Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance SP, and the Super Game Boy on Super Nintendo. Let's save and print this awesome picture of RoboCop. You can save a couple dozen pictures on your camera. Admittedly, it's not a great camera, but it is a camera that works on your Game Boy with the Game Boy printer, and that makes it great. It does not work well in low light. You need a lot of light to use the Game Boy camera, but it's worth it. If you're gonna buy only 2 video game accessories today, make sure one of them is the Game Boy camera and the other is the Game Boy printer. So you can take pictures of Truxton and print them for people. Because you already own Truxton, right? In 1998, this thing would have blown my mind. I think it's still fun and pretty impressive these days. You can leave notes on your pictures. You can even apply little stamps to them. Like, here's that shot of the crowd at Replay FX 2015. Let's put some giant Pokemon in the audience. Why not? And then you can print them out, and this thing is so much fun. So I've got a huge classic game room shout out and thank you to send once again to Felicity in Worcestershire, England. Thank you, Felicity. Thank you for sending the Game Boy camera, printer, and printer paper. You definitely want this thing, if for no other reason than you can put a nose and nose ring on Pac-Man. Game Boy camera. Hey, Derek, get me to print out a picture of you being beaten to death.
Okay.
With the game. Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
The fact that you're answering means that you're not actually dead, so it was a trick question. You know, I'm just gonna beat you with the Game Boy this time.
Oh,
The best of classic game room is on DVD, Blu-ray, and Laser Hypervision album set.
What kind of magic is this?
It's the most magic of magic.
Wow.